Happy Sunday, everyone. Welcome to another Sunday episode of the SAGA Live. Felix, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great.
We had a good time yesterday. If you know, you know. We hung out with some good peeps yesterday. So we had a good time, but as usual, nothing to sell here. We're here for informational purposes. So if you have any questions, motorsports related, whether it's related to the topic of today, because we do have a few topics.
We have a few topics, yep.
Whether it's related or not, put them down in the chat and we will be addressing them one by one. But today we are going to be talking about a few things. First of all, we're going to be talking about building cars. Mm-hmm. What's going on, Miguel? We're going to be talking about building track cars, specifically brake prepping. Mm-hmm. Then there's some news around Porsche hybrids, 992.2 hybrids. The potential for a turbo GT3 RS, which that may get contentious because I don't understand what they're doing with that. And a few others. So again, if you're joining the stream live, hola Mary, please make sure to hit the like button on the stream, chat it up with us. So Felix, let's knock out the first one, brother.
Let's do it.
We just released the first episode as a part of the Track Prep 101. Apparently, you installed some brakes wrong.
Yeah, one of the comments already said that we.
Just kind of as to get ahead of the ball here, we're replacing PCCBs, and people are kind of like, why? Why are you taking something that's supposed to perform better and reducing it to steel brakes, which the lower models technically come with?
Yeah.
What's the deal?
Yeah, why get rid of that? Individually, they cost like a ton of money, but I think when you're like checking boxes in the Porsche configurator, if Larry or one of you guys are on here that know it, but I think it's like 8,000 to 10,000 to add PCCBs to the car,
and we're just like,
take them off. Yeah. So again, it's one of those things that has to do well on the road and at the track, right? The PCCBs. So those of you who know, and those of you who have tracked cars on PCCBs, and just to be clear, for those of you guys who don't know what the heck I'm saying for PCCBs, it's a Porsche carbon ceramic brakes. So sometimes in our cars, you'll see where like the rotor, the disc doesn't look like it's made out of metal, and because it's not, it's actually a composite rotor. The big advantage of it is that it's super light, so the car doesn't carry around the extra weight. But the pads, let me just be clear, the pads throughout the years, and that's the reason we replaced the pads. The pads throughout the years pads now have to meet an environmental standard, right? So in motorsports pads, you want a certain composition. For you to make it good at certain temperatures, you have to have a certain amount of cobalt, certain amount of nickel. And with time, I think California doesn't allow like one certain, California doesn't allow like one certain metal in their brake pads. So that's what make like the 992 GT3 steel pads kind of like shit. Because
steel pads or rotors?
So the rotors that came, sorry.
Rein me back in here, brother, because we went from rotors to pads.
Yeah, so what I'm trying to say is that the Porsche for the rotors and for the pads, it's more like there's more to it. Like Porsche's not just looking at performance; they're looking at something that's going to be good on the road. It's going to be okay at the track, and they're also looking for environmental compliance. Yeah, like that's the big thing now, and that we're going to talk about this a little bit later too. Again with the whole hybrid thing. Yeah. But anyways, yeah. So we take this $8,000 or $10,000 option, and we go back to steels. We do lose or we gain weight on every corner of the car. I think it's
that's unsprung weight, right?
That's unsprung weight, yeah. We gain like 12 to 13 pounds on each corner of the car. So you multiply that by 4, that's like 500. Yeah. No, I'm kidding. How much is that?
I don't know. We did the
Whatever,
math.
It's like 50.
We did the math in our very first
It's like 50,
video.
and supposedly like shaving off 1 pound of unsprung weight, or 1 pound of unsprung weight, which is anything under the spring, which is the upright, caliper, rotor, bearing, whatever. Any pound there, the equivalent is like putting 7 pounds inside the car.
Okay.
Yeah, so you multiply 50 times 7, that's 350. So technically, like the car got 350-ish pounds heavier if in the seat. So that's, I mean, I don't want to get into the weeds, but that's more than like a full tank. I'm getting into the weeds.
You are getting into the weeds.
Yeah, I'm getting into the weeds.
The answer that I basically got is that we don't want to.
We downgraded the car.
we downgraded the car, added weight to the car, for essentially cost savings while maintaining the valuation of the car. Because for those of you who don't know, SAGA typically rotates the cars within the stable, right? So John, big boss, owner of SAGA, he'll buy a car, we'll track it, and then we'll send it back to Porsche, or not send it back, but trade it back in.
Yep.
So if you have the PCCBs, you get a higher evaluation of the car when you turn it in.
Correct.
Especially if your PCCBs aren't worn down.
Exactly.
So Felix, being a savage, constantly taking the wheels on and off. People on the team are working on it. It's more peace of mind to not have me or Alvin or whoever helping you swap a tire, and then next you know we chip a PCCB that costs $8 to $10 grand at the track.
Yeah, so I said it's a like $8,000 to $10,000 option, but if you're gonna buy a rotor individually, so one brake rotor for these cars, if it's of that composite type, is gonna be like $8 to $10 grand for one rotor. So imagine you're pulling the wheel off, you drop it, and now you're out 8 G's. Right?
Yeah, and then your track day's kind of cooked if you don't have another one.
Yeah, you probably don't want to track on it, right? And then if they have a decent amount of miles, you get into that point of where like, is my right front rotor gonna have 100% life, and my left front rotor gonna have 60% life?
Yes.
What?
No, I was gonna bring. I'm gonna bring up something else.
Yeah. So you're now down 16K because you need to replace them in pairs, or the right thing is to replace them in pairs.
Yeah. So I mean that's mainly for longevity. So I mean if you don't care, I guess keep the PCCVs on and then do a track pad. The second thing that got brought up in the video was why not do brake lines? So usually for these cars, since I've been there for the entire build process for a lot of these cars, the brake lines is something that gets done. But in this case, since we have future plans for this car that you guys are going to see, we're not replacing the brake lines this time around.
Correct.
Tell the people why.
Yeah, so we're not replacing the brake lines because honestly, the Porsche brake lines I am gonna say are good enough, meaning that they are rubber. They have a protector around them, like a steel coil around them, but I'm pretty sure they already have like a stainless component to them, because I've gone from like the regular Porsche brake line to a stainless line, and you really don't get that much more like better pedal feel. But now if you had a regular road going car, or if I was gonna track my if I was gonna track my Silverado, right, that has rubber brake lines that if you put enough pedal effort into it, the brake line will expand, and you don't want that expansion because that leads to a worse pedal feel. So in these cars, it's not bad, and in the future, this car is gonna get a brake kit that takes its own lines. So I don't want to buy the lines for this car are like $800. So I don't want to buy brake lines, put them on the car, and then take them off and then put a brake kit on that has its own lines that are specific to the brake kit and the car.
Yeah, so you're going to be in the whole extra money.
Extra money for no reason, yeah.
So, I mean, usually, if you're not going to do a big brake kit like what's coming to this car in the future, so if you want to see that on the GT3, on 992.2 GT3, make sure you subscribe to the channel. But if you're not going to do that, then it would be highly recommended to just go ahead and do the brake lines along with the other upgrades that we recommend in that video.
For sure.
Now, I got the gyro disc rotor right here for the people to see. And because one of the comments that you just recently responded to, and it scared both of us.
I was like, what?
That we apparently, and this the proverbial we, Felix installed the rotors incorrectly because of the direction of the vanes. So I'm gonna switch the camera so you guys can see here real quick. And when they're talking about vanes, what they're talking about are these kind of slits that are in the rotor.
So those are slots.
Okay,
these are vanes.
These are the vanes. Okay,
the vanes are in here. So the vein in here has a hook. The vein in here, Well, where are they watching this?
Look, I'll give it to you over here.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know why I'm explaining it. You should be explaining it.
Yeah, they're right here. So in here, so not because this slash is headed this way means that the vein inside is heading that same way. So someone said that we had the veins wrong. And that's because I think they're looking at this gash on the outside. So this is a slot. It's literally called a slot. So not because the slot's going this way means that the vein is going that way. Gyro disc, so this is a right rear. This is a right rear on gyro disc. And the easiest way to know if you're installing them right is these are always gonna slash forward. But I do believe the cooling veins go the opposite because the air goes in.
They're going. You can see. You can't really see it too well on the camera, but the fact that you can see the backside right here.
Yep.
Lets you know that the veins are going in the opposite direction that the slits are going in.
Yeah. And that is the important part of it. But there are other brands that are not gyro disc that use slots that are actually pointed back. And when they're pointed back is the correct way for that brand. So yeah, we panicked a little bit for sure.
Yeah. So I guess it's important to know these things if you're going to install this stuff yourself. And I guess for these, it does indicate on here which direction, which tire or which corner they go in, right?
When you get them, they'll have a tag on them that'll tell you.
Well, now you know. So now you know which directions the veins need to go in. So we wanted to just kind of show you guys that. There have been some comments on there asking certain things. So I think we addressed for the most part most of them. So I think for the most part, the biggest reason to prep your brakes is if you want to go fast, you got to be able to stop. Because the last thing you want to do is end up going fast and completely not being able to hit the brakes, like that Mustang at the beginning of the video. I actually found that clip online, and the guy ended up losing the brakes. I don't know what track that was, but he ended up losing the brakes.
Road America.
And in order for him to save it, he legit just
started swerving the car, yeah,
and stopped it with just pure friction of the tires.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You don't see it in the video, but at the end, the guy's like, "No way, you did it!" Like, I guess somebody was in the passenger seat and they were just mind blown. Like, imagine you're just in the car, scared for your life, and the next thing you know, your driver's like, "We don't have any brakes." Butt pucker moment, 100%.
For sure, yeah. And I mean, even as a driver, right? Imagine just the brake pedal going to the floor. That's like my biggest fear ever when we're in these cars.
That's why Felix doesn't let any of us touch the brakes.
Yeah, you're right. You're right about that. What was the other comment we got? So we also got a comment about what about seasoning the rotors and the brake pad bedding?
Yep.
So
put this back.
The reason we haven't talked about that is because every manufacturer recommends you doing it differently, and what seasoning the rotor means, and I don't think it's called seasoning. It's just called bedding your brakes.
Bedding, yeah.
Yeah, it means getting out on track or driving the car in the street, taking it up to like 90 miles an hour, braking without ABS engagement, so just like a smooth brake from 90 to 30, and then you accelerate again, 90 to 30. I've done this on the street, and people just look at you like you're crazy, and it's honestly dangerous. So maybe
not recommended to do it on the street.
Not recommended to do it on the street. I've been there, done that. Not good. Unless you're gonna wake up like at 5 a.m., but then it's just you. Wow. Yeah, so you probably get pulled over. But so the seasoning part or the bedding part is basically getting the rotors so hot to where you have a controlled transfer of material from the pad to the rotor. Because at the end of the day, what makes the car stop, it's not so much the pressure that the pads put on the rotor, it's not a relation. It's basically, yes, it's the pressure, but it's
friction, right?
It's the friction between the rotor that has pad compound in it and the pad.
Yeah.
That's doing the majority of the stopping work. It's not just the pressure. It's the relation between all those things working together, and the metals talking to each other is what makes it stop. So it's a really good question. A lot of manufacturers will say to do it differently. honestly, we do it sometimes. Sometimes we just go out there and send it. And the disadvantage of just going out there and sending it and not getting like a proper transfer is your rotors are gonna last less, and then your brake pads are. If you go out to the track and just basically hammer your brakes, you could kind of shock the pads, and then they'll have like premature life, or you could start chunking them. In our case, our pads don't do that. Like, you could treat our pads pretty terribly and they'll never chunk, so I kind of don't worry about it. And I know most of these guys just abuse the shit out of the brakes. Like Alvin likes to park the car just scorching. So why should I worry about bedding in the rotors if the cars are going to be parked at 1,000 degrees?
You know what? I guess that just goes further validates why we do the gyro disc, because imagine somebody's coming in hot with PCCBs and they just like park.
Yeah.
So
it's probably not, and yeah,
or
definitely
or
not
they
good for them.
or they sit, I've seen this too, where they sit in the car, they don't put it in brake, so they have their foot on the brakes,
yeah.
and they're just sitting there like that. So
yeah, we've toasted a couple of rotors that way in the GT4. Because you know how like sometimes the track will go black flag and you're ripping through 19 and then you pull into the pits and you're like, my session still has 20 minutes left.
Oh, and you're sitting there
You're
waiting
just
for them to
chilling there with your foot on the brake. And then next time you go to the brakes, you just because they're all crooked now.
Yeah, so that was the first video in the Track Prep 101 series. We just filmed another one, and this one, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, the next one that's gonna come up is good. There's gonna be information there, but it should just be more fun to watch than informational because I'm gonna be honest with you, this is not a job that I would attempt to do on my own. Period.
It's easy. It's easy now, but the first time.
Easy after installing 50 of them.
We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it then, because man, it's I've been through hell and back installing cages, but
yeah. Shout out to Simon. What's up, Simon?
What's up, Simon?
So if you have any questions on the brakes, start leaving them in there. Felix has done quite a few brake jobs, including bringing cars back to stock to then put them back to track ready. So leave those comments down in the chat below. I wanted to move on to something else, right? Because you recently had a great weekend at ECR late last year, where you were smoking Cup cars. And now what I'm seeing is that the 992.2 Cup car is development is complete on the 992.2 Cup car. So what are the implications of that for us HPDE drivers going forward?
So what happens when a new race car gets released is that those now go into the bigger series, right? They go into, I think Carrera Cup is a feeder series to the IMSA paddock. Someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I think they're a feeder series to the IMSA paddock, or maybe they're a support series now to the Formula One stuff because they race in Miami. Anyways, that's like the big dog Porsche Cup series, right? They race all over the country. So what happens there is they start getting the .2s, and then after they get the .2s, each company or each motorsport team usually campaigns 2 cars. So all of a sudden they have 2 leftover cars, right? That are still good. Some of them wrecked, some of them like fixed well, some of them not fixed well. So now those get pushed onto the public market sometimes. And sometimes when there's like an excess amount of cars, you'll see new series come out that use that car. Like the GT4s, when they came out series, there were so many of them that I think they started like a Trophy West. They started like a different series, one of them that only ran in the West Coast. So for us HPDers, the way that affects us is that there will be more of these cars available and the prices will have to come down because now there's a .2. So we'll be seeing a lot more of these as either test cars or just cars that people bought to go track safer, right?
What is it? Porsche club races?
Yeah, or
maybe that's where we see a lot of them. Well, just like 3 or 4 of them that were in the one at ECR, and then they went to COTA, and we saw a couple Cup cars there too.
Yeah. So we'll probably start seeing a lot more of the 992.1 Cup cars, which is honestly which is probably a great car. I drove a 991, and that was just freaking amazing. The 992s are supposed to be better everywhere. So yeah, we'll start seeing more of those. I mean, it'd be cool to get one of those to have in the fleet, but I guess the downside is it's a race car, right? So you'll have to start monitoring hours on the gearbox, hours on the engine side, because I don't know if you knew this, but those engines, if you drive them for too long, they basically like grenade. And the right way to do it is I think it's 80 hours on the engine. So you run so now you have to start logging hours when you're driving that car. And after 80 hours, you have someone take the engine out, you send it to get refreshed, then you put it back in the car. And then the tranny, the same thing. It has to come out every certain amount of hours to get refreshed. If not, you drive it to like catastrophic failure. And all that's out of pocket.
Okay, so you basically explain why John doesn't have a single cup car.
Yes.
Because that just seems like a huge pain. 80 hours.
80 hours, yeah.
I think we would smoke that within the summer trip.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, and I think that's where the GT4 RS Club Sport comes into play for a lot of people, because you kind of just drive it to failure, because it has a regular dual, it has a PDK in it. Okay. The cup cars have sequentials in them. So like Doug, he's probably just gonna keep on driving that engine until the oil gets a little too shiny, or it starts like performing low on power, and then the gearbox, until it starts acting up, then he takes it out, sends it to get refreshed, and they should have more longevity. But yeah, it's gonna be cool to see more of these cars. Then again, it does seem like in the HPDE world, we always seem to we struggle to communicate with these people in the cup cars, because it's usually like a cup car that's just in the way.
So are you saying that it's like slow people buying an actual race car?
I mean, it's someone who wants to get started in racing, but they're in a cup car, so automatically they're gonna stick them into the advanced group, and now we're having to deal with someone who's like way in over their head, right? It's not the case every time.
The brake pedal feels completely different. Do they even have turn signals inside of that car? I know Doug's does.
Yeah, they probably do. Yeah, they probably do. So we're gonna see more of them, which will be super cool. And those things, I mean, they sound freaking great.
And shout out to everybody who's gonna be in a street-driven car smoking these guys. I'm pretty sure that has to feel good.
Yeah, that'll be the case for
a little while. So I mean, kind of in the same vein of the development being complete on the 992.2, we have hybrid cars being developed. So I think it's the 992.2 hybrid turbo S. Is that the one that's come out?
99.
Or is it the 991 or 992.1 hybrid?
I think it's the 2. So you're talking about the new one that has, I think it's a 992.2. I think GTS is the one that saw that new hybrid turbo system. Yes.
Let's get into that because there's a lot to get into for that piece. Explain to them first. You're more equipped to be able to explain what's the significance of having a hybrid turbo car.
So there's a lot of advantages to having a hybrid turbo car, and that's literally what it means. Is these new cars, they have the turbo system and they have a little motor attached to it. I think some of the cars will eventually see a little engine that helps produce more power between the engine and trans, so it actually sees more overall horsepower. But the hybrid turbo is honestly like a really nice concept, because since the little generator is attached to the turbo, whenever the turbo is not being used, it can be used to create excess energy. And when you need more turbo, it can use the little generator to actually spin up the turbo. Right? So the advantage there is you get no lag, you get a little bit more horsepower, and I think they're running these cars at, I don't want to get too much in the weeds. They're running these cars at stoic, which means they're running these cars with less. All this is chasing efficiency, right?
Well, to an extent, right? Because I'm looking at this here, and they're saying that this hybrid turbo S is going to be producing around 700 horsepower.
Yeah.
So that's I don't know where you get efficiency there.
Yeah.
I think the efficiency part is when we start talking about the Cayennes that are getting this kind of similar turbo technology. But in the case of this Turbo S, what I'm seeing in this article is 700 horsepower out of a street car. It's like this is like the Hellcat of
Yeah.
the Porsche world.
Yeah. Yeah, but the efficient, so how Porsche has been getting on top of the efficiency is since they now have a little generator that stores energy and can spin the turbo harder without having to have like more fuel in the exhaust or more fuel in the engine. They've actually cut down on the fuel that's being used by the engine. So they're running the engine leaner, but adding more boost to it. And sometimes using that power. So like it's honestly like a super complicated system, but they're basically running the engines.
Hold on. Well, first, Simon, no, we didn't do a rotor rebuild video. We did a rotor. Well, we did a brake install.
Brake install, yeah.
On the 992.2
But
GT3.
a rotor rebuild video would probably be cool for the gyros.
But he's asking new TT is hybrid. New 992 TT is hybrid now too.
I don't. Is that what you read? The new 992 turbo is hybrid?
Yes. They're going along with. It says here the new 911 Turbo S 992.2 is in production, featuring performance hybrid system that makes it the fastest accelerating 911 with a 0 to 60 time significantly improved, and it's producing 700 horsepower.
Yeah. So Simon, I guess the new turbo is gonna be hybrid. It started with the GTS, I think like a year ago, where they did that turbo hybrid. But basically it's all chasing efficiency, right? And honestly, these kind of hybrid systems, these hybrid systems have been used by, they're being used by Formula One. So they're efficient, they work, it's all, man, I'm getting to the weeds here, but how do we end up with impact wrenches, right? Well, they started in NASA in the 80s, and I think we're at that point in cars where we're seeking efficiency, because Formula One at the end, they're targeting a certain horsepower, and all they've done throughout the years is they went for like a chunky V12, and now they're like at a 1.8 liter 6-cylinder that produces a similar horsepower but has that hybrid system. So it's all chasing power. I mean, look at John. John drives a Cayenne Turbo S hybrid, and he absolutely freaking loves that thing because it has when you go to the throttle, it has the kick of the electric.
Yeah.
Because I think the Cayenne has like a plate between the engine and the trans that adds instantaneous horsepower and has an electric section to it. So you floor it, you get the electric, and then the engine comes on. So it's basically like the power curve on that thing probably just throws you in the seat and you stay in the seat versus you kind of feeling the acceleration. What are you reading, Jorge?
I'm reading a 0 to 60 in 2.4 seconds and a quarter mile of 9.7 seconds.
9's impressive. 9's super impressive in the quarter.
148, and this is according to the testing that Motor Trend is talking about.
That's definitely going to be super impressive.
So so the thing that's confusing me, right, is efficiency. Efficiency when it comes to what? Are we talking about fuel efficiency, or are we talking about like the efficiency of the motor? Like, because in any case where you're adding power to a motor, right? Because turbos, superchargers, all that is forced induction. You're forcing more air with that forced air requires what? More fuel.
More fuel, yeah.
So explain to me the efficiency portion here.
The efficiency portion is like I said, Formula One in the old days, they were able to run like huge chunky V10s, V12s, right? And they had to refill because those things were just like drinking all the fuel they can. And now we have a 1.6 liter V6 that makes the same horsepower but is turbo.
Okay.
Right? You understand that concept? How we went from like a chunky, we're following Formula One, and we're following like I said, we're following NASA for tools as well. But because what they did 30 years ago is now found at Harbor Freight. So
Yeah.
these smaller engines with the turbo, yes,
So it's
they
essentially
just use the air more efficiently, right? And yes, the more air, they're gonna have to burn more. They're gonna have to, the more air, they're gonna have to burn more fuel.
yeah,
But it's
I'm trying to find out which engine is inside of this car, but it's not showing.
probably like a 3.6 or 3.8. They usually don't go down that much on displacement.
Because I understand conceptually, right? It's like you see that with trucks nowadays, where in a truck, it used to be that all trucks just came out of the factory with some sort of V8. You had a variety of sizes of V8s, and then now you can even see some trucks have a 4-cylinder in it with a supercharger with a turbo on it.
Turbo, yeah.
So you're getting the fuel efficiency in road driving out of a 4-cylinder with the added power of the turbo. So now you are still seeing like 300, maybe 400 horsepower out of these smaller engines without necessarily needing a V8.
Yeah.
So is this within the same vein of what you're talking about?
Yes, it's within the same vein. So at the end of the day, when you have a turbo strapped to a car, there's this thing called what's it called? It's called, I think, volumetric efficiency. And when you go, so a really good like the V8 in my Silverado has probably like a volumetric efficiency of 0.84, right? Once you start turboing something, the volumetric efficiency goes over 1. And what that means is that let me give you guys the right, because someone's gonna toast me.
'Cause, I mean, this is cool, but then if like when you were talking about the Cayennes, when we were discussing this before the show, the Cayennes, now they have a Cayenne turbo, and then they have the Cayenne Turbo S? No, it's the Cayenne GTS that didn't have the turbo, right? And now the Cayenne GTS has a turbo.
Okay.
But then they had the Cayenne the Cayenne Turbo, and it's like, what's the distinction? Why even have both of those models?
So I know where you're getting to this. I know where you're getting to
I'm
this.
ready to argue.
You're ready to argue. So in the past, like 2013, 2015, Porsche had a Cayenne GTS, and then they had a Cayenne Turbo. The GTS was the naturally aspirated
Right.
4.8 liter or whatever. And then the turbo, I think, was a smaller displacement, but had the turbos on it. So what people were doing is people who wanted the grunt, they would get the GTS, and people who wanted the horsepower would get the turbo. Move forward 10 years. Now we have a GTS that has the exact same engine configuration, which has turbos in it, than a turbo. Yeah, and it's basically the same thing, but detuned. Like you could take a Cayenne GTS, tune it, and make more horsepower than a stock.
Dude, that's exactly what I was gonna say. Like, well, you just get a tune file and boom.
Yeah, so you can definitely do that with a modern GTS.
So you can save money. So you can save money, y'all. There you go. You heard it here first. SAGA Motorsports. Get a GTS, get a tune file, you have a turbo.
Yeah, so I know where you're getting to this, because there's rumors out there that the new GT3 RS is gonna be freaking turbocharged, right?
Yeah.
So then you start thinking about it. So is the new GT3 RS gonna be the new 2RS? Well, no, because Porsche has price brackets for it all. They can't have a 3RS be 50 horsepower less than a 2RS, because then that makes the 2RS obsolete, right?
So then what's the point? What's the
Yeah,
Listen,
the
somebody
point is
convince
just,
me in the comments. What is the point? Because
It's emissions. It's all emissions efficiency. Yes, I mean that's what P1 underscore TDT said. It's all emissions efficiency.
Emissions efficiency. So how are they achieving that? Having the same motor. How are they achieving that having the same motor? Because, like I said, in the example of like Hondas, Hondas from the 90s were just these really small 1.4 liter engines that were just naturally aspirated. Those were super efficient on fuel. And then if you get a Honda Civic today, you're going to get something like maybe like a 2.4 liter engine, but it also has a turbo attached to it as well. Right? So you're still maintaining that efficiency, and then you're getting that little bit of a boost in power. To me, it would make sense if because I think they have what, 4 O's inside of the GT3 RS now?
Yeah, it's a 4-liter.
So they have a 4-liter. Okay, so are they going to reduce that down to maybe like a 3.6 or 3.8 or what? And then slap the turbo on it so that you're not missing out on that extra power?
That's the way they have to do it, right? Because if they take the 4-liter and then they put a turbo on it, then it's going to make way too much horsepower, right?
And then the efficiency.
And it wouldn't be efficient enough.
Yeah. Because every time you add air, you have to add fuel.
You have to add fuel, yes, but since you're adding, so the engine's not starving for air, you're adding air. Two completely different things, right? With a naturally aspirated engine, it's hunting for air, so it's trying to fill the cylinder as much as possible. And with the turbo, you can fill the cylinder more or at the rate that you want. Yes, the same amount.
I mean, listen, guys, he actually went to tuner school, so he knows more about this than I do. But I'm just really confused on why would they even do this in the first place, right? Because everybody knows at this point, GT3 RS is supposed to be the naturally aspirated version. It's naturally aspirated big dog.
Yes.
If you want something with the turbo, shout out to Simon.
Yeah.
You get a GT2.
You get a 2. Yeah.
And then that's what, 690 something horsepower.
Yeah.
So you're getting 200 extra horsepower over a GT3 RS. So to me, it just doesn't. You're basically making a tuned down GT2 RS.
Yes.
All right,
Yeah.
well, argument over, done.
But Porsche's known to do that. Porsche is definitely known to do that. Like I said, with their Cayenne models, one is basically the detuned version of it. I really hope like the 3RS, 2RS doesn't get to that. But I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it does. And there's gonna have to be a huge price gap there. Now, one thing that I am not looking forward to, if that ends up being the case, is that anything turbo comes with extra stuff, right? Even if it's the hybrid turbo, you're gonna have the hybrid turbo hanging off the back of the car. You're gonna have that extra little generator that attaches to the turbo in the back of the car.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but because I know kind of where you're going with this, but do you think that it's gonna be just a straight up turbo, or is it gonna be something similar to what's in this Turbo S, where it's that hybrid system where it has a motor, so you don't have turbo lag?
I mean,
just we don't know because none of that information was publicized. But do you think they would just go with that technology, and wouldn't that also increase the price of the car, or do they save the hybrid technology for the GT2 RS so that you're constantly in boost, and we see less people driving them because they're scared to wreck it?
Dude, honestly, if you look at it from the outside, you could think about it every way, right? Like if they just put turbos on the car without the hybrid thing, then that's what Simon's car is.
Yeah, yeah.
And if they go hybrid, then that's what the 2RS is.
That's what I'm saying, right? So imagine maybe that's the route that they go with, right? Is that they put just normal, smaller turbos on the GT3 RS, and then on the GT2 RS they go with this hybrid model, because everybody knows that the argument between a supercharger and a turbo is, when do you get the boost?
Yeah.
So if they put turbos on the GT3 RS, it still has the initial grunt of the motor that then carries you into boost, versus the GT2 RS would then just be like, no, you're gonna get all the power right now.
Honestly, 3RS people, I think they won't care about the turbo hybrid thing. Just hear me out. I think they won't care about the turbo hybrid thing or just turbo thing if they keep a engine that revs to $9,000.
Because would that be a limit? Would that be a limitation if they put a turbo on it that it wouldn't get to $9,000?
For sure. Like the 2RS, Simon can probably correct me, but I think it revs to like 7,500 or 7,800. So if Porsche says, okay, we're gonna give you a 3.6 liter, but allow it to go to 9,000 RPM, a lot of people would probably still be happy with that.
So shout out to P1. They cannot make naturally aspirated engines anymore due to Euro 7 environmental regulations. So they have to go turbo hybrid to be able to sell the product.
Yeah.
So it's not that it has to make sense performance-wise. It just has to make sense for them to be able to reach the audience that they want to reach, both in America and in Europe. Is basically what it's getting to. But before I interrupted you, you were talking about all the extra stuff that comes along with having a turbo in a car.
Say it again? I'm like buffering here.
I interrupted him, and he's downloading. So before I interrupted you, you were talking about all the other stuff that comes with having a turbo in one of these cars. So you can continue down that.
Yeah, so on the 2RS, so in the 991 generation cars, we learned that a 3RS, the difference between a 3RS and a 2RS isn't just 200 horsepower. The 200 horsepower comes with added weight. It comes with added coolers, different manifolds, there's a lot that comes with it, but basically you're adding weight to the rear of the car.
And even additional like, I don't want to call it maintenance, but it's like, what would you call it? Because when we went on a summer trip and we took the 2RS, you guys constantly had to be refilling it with water.
With water, yep.
So like there's more that you have to worry about with something that has a turbo on it.
For sure.
Okay.
For sure. Yeah, so that's one thing I'm not looking forward to in the new GT3 RS. Like, I would hate for Porsche to say you're getting the 500, like the current generations make, I think, 520 horse. If Porsche says you're getting 540, 550, but then you have all the added weight of the hybrid components, that would kind of suck. But carrying that added weight with the components with 800 horsepower, probably not bad.
Oh, dude, you're ripping out of 11. If like you have a planted rear on that car and you can just rip it out of there with 900 horsepower. And to address your question, Simon, I think that's kind of what we're speculating here. Well, not necessarily. I think it's confirmed that they're going to make a 992 GT2 RS, right?
I think the speculation is there's going to be a 992.2 GT2 RS, just like there was a 991.2 GT2 RS.
Okay, so I think what we're trying to speculate here is if they do go with a turbo GT3 RS, what does that mean for
the 2RS?
For the 2RS?
Yeah.
And what technology will go behind that? So I think it'll be interesting to see. And man, I mean, the GT, I can only imagine that the GT3 RS right now is just an insanely good car. Mm-hmm. Imagine adding more power to that thing.
I love it.
Do you think they would have to do more modifications to the aero design on that car? Would there be more DRS functionality that they would have to build into it so that you can still maintain the stability of the car in a corner, but then also be able to take advantage of the DRS system so that you can actually like I mean, 900 horsepower, you're going to be able to take advantage of that anyway, but.
Yeah. So so I'm just going to shoot straight with you guys. In the previous generation, the GT2 RS actually got even less downforce than the 3RS. Like in the 991s, so Simon's car has less downforce in the rear than its equivalent 3RS. And the handicap there was that Porsche mounted the uprights to the deck lid. So I think they were scared that when the car is going 170 or 180, that if they had the same downforce as the 3RS, that the freaking wing would rip off, right? But in these new cars, everything's chassis mounted. You have that huge wing with DRS. So I wouldn't be surprised if Porsche like adds just more overall downforce, because who gives a crap about the drag that's gonna come with it, right? Now suspension, I guarantee you it's going to be the same, probably with some different spring rates because you're going to have more weight in different places. But all the suspension geometry will be exactly the same. It might have like different cooling underneath, but all the arms are going to be basically 992.1 GT3 RS, because in the 991 GT2 RS, like most of the suspension components, they all say 991 GT3 on them. Like if you look for the parts, they all come from that same era 3RS.
So P1 is also mentioning that the weight will be compensated with a massive jump in torque with the turbo hybrid, probably instant torque. Dude.
Yeah, because we don't destroy enough tires already.
Well, it's interesting because I've spoken to Simon, right? And Simon, one of the things that I've heard him talk about is how like gentle you have to be with the throttle on a GT2 RS that doesn't have instant torque or any of the hybrid tech in it. How much harder is it going to be to have to drive this car? I mean, and we're speculating on numbers because I haven't seen anything about how much horsepower this car is going to have. So we're just throwing, if we're seeing that the 992.2 Turbo S is sitting at around 700 horsepower, let's just say 800 to be
800 is going to be conservative. Yeah.
Conservative on a GT2 RS.
Yeah.
How wild is it going to be to come out of like, I don't know, 12,
Just
or coming out of the stadium section at a 14, and having 900 almost instant horsepower. I mean, I guess the guys that are driving the Teslas around Coda are probably already experiencing some sort of issue.
Yeah, people
like that.
driving like the Ferrari SF90s. There's already a few cars that have that turbo hybrid in them. The MC20 from Maserati has the exact same thing. It could go both ways. It's definitely going to destroy tires, but maybe it's less of a surprise because I obviously this week we also posted my 2RS lap, and you could always see me like shifting up early and then laying into it and then just kind of figuring it out on the way out. The car was obviously super upset.
So putting the car in the lower end of the power
Yeah,
band.
putting it at the lower end of
corner.
the power band. That way it doesn't like, that way you're not at the very top of it. I would still say Simon's car probably does have like, we would say it doesn't have huge torque, but like when the turbo comes in, you better be pointed straight. Yeah.
But that's what I was saying. Like, if you're gonna get
If the new one's
that
gonna
that hybrid system that immediately spools you up, dude, that's gonna be insane.
But what if it gives you like a better power band, right? To instead of like waiting for the hit, you have like more consistent torque through the RPM. It could go both ways, honestly.
I mean, it'd be interesting to see what they do with the computer system, because I mean, all that's being controlled by a computer system, unless you're manually shifting the car yourself, which I don't know if Simon's manually shifting the car himself at this point yet, because that's a very intimidating car to drive. I mean, every time I've seen Alvin go out in the GT2 RS, he's taking that car for a spin. He's taking that car for a spin every single time. Yeah. So it's one of those cars where, that's what makes me more curious about what they're going to do with the aero design on that car.
I would love for them to put more downforce on it, because the car, they could triple it and the car's still going to push through that because it's going to have 850 horsepower.
Well, but to seeing the leap between the 991.2 GT3 RS and the 992 GT3 RS, they're not the same cars. No. Not even close. So, granted, I know it's within the same generation, so they can't be too drastic with it. But I would imagine that they would want you to take advantage of that power on a straight.
Well, so TDT also mentioned this, and this is kind of what I would call like boost by gear. There's also this thing where literally as you're higher up in the gears, it starts feeding more power. So you're in second, and it's not going to give you 800. Maybe it gives you so it 600.
So the computer's kind of like figuring it out.
You click third, it gives you 750. You click fourth, it knows that it's hooked up in fourth, and it has decent aero load. It cranks it up to 800 or whatever. So that's what you call boost by gear. That's probably, he said Ferrari does that a lot, so that makes sense. But one thing that I want to talk, so Simon said he lets the gearbox do its magic, but one thing I want to talk about is Porsche always has something up their sleeve with these new cars, because if you go, Simon, go to my lap, and TDT, also go to my lap in the 2RS that we posted earlier this week, and you'll see that so in that car, I wasn't driving a left foot braking yet. So it's just one foot doing all the work. And you'll see in a ton of places where I'm actually on the brakes and the car is adding throttle. Now, Simon, your car doesn't have, it doesn't have the electronic turbo, so it's gonna suffer from a slow spool. So what I think Porsche did, so what's happening is I'm going to the brakes and the car itself is adding throttle. And you'll see it on the overlay. And I think that's why I have a ton of like mishaps or a ton of catches, because the car is adding throttle under braking because the car knows it's at the track because it's being driven hard. And it's trying to keep those turbos wound up. So we might have a new 2RS that's just a little bit more predictable, because on this car, I'm going through 11 and I'm on the brakes. And as soon as I start rolling on throttle, I think that's when one of like the throttle spikes came for the car to try to get it ready. And then you have that huge snap. I'm going up 8 and I'm just trying to bleed in that throttle. And maybe the car's trying to like, maybe it's the car trying to keep the turbo spooled up that has caught so many of our drivers out. Because you saw that right on the overlay. I'm braking and someone is adding throttle to that car, and that's not me.
It's not Felix. Yeah, I've heard about that because you told me about that a while ago. Yeah. That the 2RS the computer tries to keep the turbos spooled up, but maybe with this hybrid technology, they kind of remove that aspect of it. And it'll be interesting. So I saw something about driver aids, but they were talking about something else where they were using drone technology to show people the fastest line. But with regards to what we're talking about, I'm curious as to how driver aid technology is going to advance, because what you're talking about when it comes to the car kind of making the decision as to how much boost to actually give you, that to me probably is going to come in the form of some sort of driver aid, whether it's ESC or TC. That technology probably has to be embedded within those driver aids, no?
Brother, imagine the new 2RS has, you know how we have like compression settings and shit? Imagine we have like a boost setting, or like how aggressive, how aggressive you want it. I mean, that'd be super cool, right? If it gives you like a power delivery setting, that would be freaking insane. That'd be cool.
Simon says, I was having the same experience in 14-15, losing the rear, and I thought it was me. Maybe it was the car.
It definitely could be, yeah, because 14-15, you're trying to slow the car down. It's always under brakes that it's adding. So this was only being picked up on the AIM system. So I'm curious, Simon, if you're seeing like throttle bursts in your V-Box system, because that one we're tapping in straight to CAN bus. AIM, it's grabbing it from the OBD2 port, so maybe they're picking up different channels. So I would be, the V-Box might be picking up just like pressure, like throttle pressure individually, or no, well, it's the throttle. Maybe it's picking up throttle percentage, and maybe the AIM is picking up like power delivery. I don't know. It could be two different things they're chasing. This is a good rabbit hole to go down through, honestly.
Yeah. I'm excited to see what the future holds for some of these cars, because just the technology aspect alone seems really cool.
For sure.
I mean, I thought that the GT2 RS was already an insane car.
Yeah, it's gonna
And then
be.
now to hear about the hybrid technology, I'm more curious just out of like skepticism to see what they do with the GT3 RS. Because to me, like if I had to pick between a 500 horsepower naturally aspirated car or a 500 horsepower, turboed car, I want to keep the naturally aspirated car.
But what if both rev to 9,000?
To me, revving to 9,000 is irrelevant.
But that's the thing.
I'm talking about in the like I'm thinking about like drag racing people, right? People like to have the instant power of a V8, right? Because you don't have to wait for boost to kick in. And granted, they would probably figure something out so that like what you guys are talking about with the 2RS, where maybe it'll figure out how to stay within boost. People will probably tap into that in a drag racing scenario.
Yeah.
But
Dude,
I understand what TDT is talking about when it comes to the efficiency portion, especially if that's a requirement in Europe, because we've seen requirements in Europe affect the market in America for even simple things like USB-C ports. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So
Yeah.
I can see that being a thing.
The other thing that's happened lately, as in the Porsche world, like I just can't connect my regular OBD2 port and scan the car globally. So honestly, I would not be surprised if it's the same freaking car. If the new 3RS is the same freaking car as the 2RS, it's just detuned and we no longer have access to tune it. Or maybe it's a smaller displacement that revs to 9K. That's going to keep the 3RS guys happy. And then the 2RS has 850, revs to 80. The cars are going to be super similar to each other if they both go turbo. Yes, they're still going to have a huge price gap.
I mean, so yes, how would they, what would be a requirement for them to put the turbo on the 3RS and then let it rev to 9K?
They just have to build it super well with really good components. That's it. Yeah, that's it. Because plenty of cars that are drag raced or road raced, they rev to 9,000 and are supercharged or whatever. It just has to have really good components and good fuel.
Yeah. Simon is saying that he is seeing it on V-Box.
Yeah. So
he's questioning whether or not it could be his foot.
Well, it was happening to me doing right foot, and I know you probably don't want to resort to going back right foot. I know you're doing left foot braking now, but maybe do a couple laps, just right foot braking and look at the data.
Because it is possible he's probably like.
I do that a lot.
Still having a little bit.
If you look at Matt's overlay, he's also like pretty heavy between pedals. If you look at TJ's overlay, he's heavy between pedals.
TJ counter, because we haven't mentioned TJ in a few videos. But TJ looks like he's doing that stuff intentionally.
For sure.
So that might be some race car driver stuff that
Yeah.
he's doing.
Don't pretend to be a race car driver, Simon.
Is that what we're doing every weekend? So, all right, well, let's just see what the future holds. Because if there's one thing we know about Boss Man John is that if something cool like that comes out, he's going to want one. And we may end up getting one on the seat.
If it's...
And then we'll put this madman in the seat and let us know all the juiciness about the car.
I mean, yeah, the old one did a freaking 14. What's the new one going to do?
That'd be crazy. I'd be really curious to see what you and Ryan, because I know you and Ryan were the only people I saw constantly getting into that car.
I love that car.
And then every time that Alvin got into it, it was like, I spun it off 14. I had a blast, and I just put it back on track. So we'll see. We'll see what happens there.
It's going to be a good time.
But just some quick, I guess, cleanup for us on our end. We do have the Chin Track Days event this upcoming weekend. So we will be out on track Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Friday is open track for all the advanced folks. So they're going to be out there ripping it all day. Saturday is going to be normal HPDE for the first portion of the day up until like, what, 4 o'clock-ish?
4 or 5 p.m., yeah.
And then after that, we have night driving, which is going to be sick.
Yep.
And then Sunday, we will not be here doing the live show because we will be
At
on
the
track, hopefully doing something. You guys just have to stick around and see, because we're going to be at least pushing my limits a little bit more on Sunday. So we won't have a live show for you guys this upcoming Sunday, but we will be out on track. So if you're going to be at the Chin Track Days event this upcoming weekend, February what to what?
It's through Valentine's Day, 13th through the 15th.
13th through the 15th. Come say hi to us in the garage. We will be there with the usual slew of cars. Maybe the yellow GT4 will be ready.
Maybe it won't.
Who's the company that has it?
Inertia Lab in Dallas.
Hey, come on, y'all. Get my car back over here already, okay? Because that thing is sitting basically almost parted out in the shop.
It's getting refresh shocks. We said that last time, but yeah.
Yeah, so we'll be there this upcoming weekend. I mean, but at least I'll still have the GT4 RS.
Yeah, no, we'll be fine. Crazy. We'll have plenty of cars.
That's crazy.
I'm going to prep them enough to where hopefully they survive the whole weekend. The likelihood of a car being pushed to the trailer this weekend is going to be high.
Well, we'll talk about it offline.
It's 3.5 days basically of freaking just sending it.
And if you guys haven't driven, like, it's tiring. Because I remember when we went to ECR, and ECR is a different beast. ECR in general is just a different beast. What's up, Larry? So when we did ECR for 3 days, and ECR is many more connected turns than Coda, I was dead.
Yeah.
I was dead day 3.
Well, imagine open track on Friday, and then basically regular track day on Saturday. I don't know if you saw the email already. There's another meeting before the night event because they want to check cars or whatever. So technically there's 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 different events being run. It's going to be crazy.
It's going to be crazy. And all the events are sold out. So for open track day for you advanced folks, get ready for, I'm expecting there to be just traffic everywhere.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy.
Because it's like 90 cars registered?
90 cars for that open track. There won't be, everyone says, there won't be 90 cars on track at the same time. But there will be 20 or 30 with a possibility of 60. Is the way I see it. So we'll see. It's going to be a good time regardless.
Especially for the people who are probably banking on this being their last event.
For the banker laps. Everyone's chasing banker laps.
They're just going to go out there and try to get as many laps as they can.
Yeah.
Reasonably so. And then on that, we haven't heard anything else from Coda.
Coda, yeah.
So as of right now, based on the last email that we got, they're still feeling it out. So we'll see what that holds by the end of the year. I would assume that maybe we'll know some more by maybe like, I don't know, August, September timeframe.
Are we celebrating Valentine's Day on track? Depends on who's your Valentine, Simon.
I mean, we're expecting at least breakfast tacos, Simon. That's how you get to be our Valentine.
Oh,
but I think that's everything we have for today's show. Felix, you got anything else for the peoples, man?
I think that's it. Like Jorge said at the beginning, if you guys didn't ask the questions this time, and you guys end up having a question during the week, we'll be out for the next live, but after the weekend after that, we'll be live. Write your things down. Write whatever questions you have for us. We're here to help. We have nothing to sell.
Yeah. Or just put them in the videos, right? Because Felix was just reading off the comments in the videos there. Simon, are you bringing candy and flowers? I can do, you know what, man? I'm a sucker for sweets. So if you bring candy, that's good with me. I can skip out on the flowers. But yeah, it should be a fun weekend. So thank you guys so much for joining. On your way out, please hit the like button on the stream, on the video itself, so we can go ahead and get this video plussed up in the algorithm. And we will see you guys literally at the track this upcoming weekend and for the next live show. Thank you guys for joining.
Bye, guys.
Give it a second.
These guys are crazy.
Yeah. Simon better bring that candy.
Okay, will you be my Valentine? You missed it.
I'm not, we haven't left the live yet. Yes, Simon. Yes, Simon. I haven't left the live yet. We haven't left the live yet.